So we're trying to make this stream thing a bit more open to integrate more people into it, maybe connect better to the community, like by getting people in here. Hopefully there are people that are not as shy as I would be and just join us. And so you can go to Discord and just join the Cablescast channel. It's an open channel there. And then you can just talk to us. So the idea is that later you guys ask us questions. Otherwise, we will just talk about current development and answer some forum questions and stuff like this. So yeah, we want to try this. I think we will do this every second week. And let's see how this works. Probably no one will join, but yeah, there's still hope. We already have Daria here. Hi, Daria.
Hi.
She's also now part of the team and does some social media stuff for us. And she and her boyfriend will talk about their demo later. So they made the demo with cables, which is super nice. We will watch it. And yeah.
Boyfriend how to do stuff with cables.
Sorry?
I kind of taught my boyfriend how to do stuff on cables. Very cool. It's very.
You're a really good influencer for cables. Yeah. So then just some other stuff I wanted to show.
One quick thing I'd just like to throw in between, Tom. For everybody watching on Twitch, if you're not on the Discord channel, that doesn't mean you can't ask anything in the Twitch channel. It would be cool if you could join Discord, because that makes life a lot easier. But if you're a little bit nervous or anything like that, you can always ask a question on Twitch. It's all good.
Totally.
We're dying for questions.
But I added the Discord link below under this stream. So Mark, you prepared some questions for Wir machen bunt, who's also often in our stream, and they made this amazing website. I think we showed it, but whatever.
Let's show it again. It's really awesome. I've looked at it more than a few times.
It's a project for a client from Wir machen bunt, and so Mark prepared a little interview, and they answered the questions in our blog. So you can read a bit about the progress, how this was created in our blog here.
Yeah, I absolutely love this webpage. Maybe you can just go back to it for a minute. I don't know if you closed it. It's really amazing to me when we're working on cables and then you see something like this come out of it. It's really a thing of beauty, and it's really amazing to me to see all the different way that all these things like 3D meshes and materials and state and animation can all come together. Like, I was just blown away when I saw it. I don't see that very often. It was pretty damn wow.
Yeah, totally. It's basically the most complex thing that was done outside of our studio, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's so smooth.
Yeah, it's just with a mouse wheel though, right, Tom? If I'm correct? Yeah, it's just a mouse wheel.
Yeah, or you can drag it also back and forth. Yeah. So you can read a bit about background and the development here. We plan to do this on more projects when people do stuff and release it and put it out in the wild, and we want to talk about this. Maybe we also do a Twitch stream with him at one point. Then we can talk a bit about the release.
Yeah,
so
sounds
we are planning a release this week, hopefully on Thursday, and it will be a huge one. There will be shadows, for example, which we are really stoked about. A lot of different shadow algorithms and technologies, which is really awesome. And then we have a new spline system, which looks way better than the old one, which was super basic. And yeah, now you can adjust the width of the splines and all this kind of stuff, and also colorize it better. And it's really handy for a lot of things. Then we have a lot of new GLTF stuff. So, for example, it's way easier to create interactive scenes from GLTF 3D scenes. So we can click objects in the scene and make it more interactive. Also cameras and GLTF textures and all this kind of stuff. So we have to talk a lot, like next stream, I guess, about it.
Yeah, I think we're going to just have to cover all of the new stuff just in one episode because it's just so much that you can do with it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. We have some new tutorial
stuff coming out.
Yeah. And shitloads of bug fixes and everything. And do I forget something?
I don't know. It's a few pages long again, basically, the changelog, which is always a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one little simple thing, but we think it's really cool. So there's been, we developed a new documentation system, so it's going to be just more modern and look like it fits more within the cables system. And that's been getting a rework, and a lot of the questions that we get, we've put there now in like a general and technical FAQ. And we've just gone through there with a clean sweep to make sure it's all up to date again with some stuff, because documentation is always kind of difficult to keep up to date sometimes.
Yeah, totally. And so this is also why we made it open source now. So the documentation, people can help us updating them, basically. So it's all in here. You see, we are still working on it for the release. So people can just go in here and edit those Markdown files and submit them if they want. There's also a new FAQ, which is cool, which will be more active in the future and cover a lot of questions that we always hear. So it should be easier to find those things. Yeah. So shall we watch a demo?
Always a good idea.
Let's watch a demo.
Just make sure we disappear from the corner.
Should we start or should we just wait for Cabby?
Yeah, where is
we can
Cabby?
start.
I think he's seen it a few times, right?
Yes, quite a few actually. I think, I've seen it less than him. I actually only saw it the way it was on the big screen. So I myself was pretty surprised that it actually looked like a demo. This is something you never expect. Yes. And since I worked with my tiny MacBook screen, I didn't really seen how it looks, just like how it kind of looks.
Right.
So everything I put in there was basically my instinct and gut feeling, and just let's see if it works out. And seeing it on a big screen.
Yeah, that's something working, different. Yeah.
Being animated properly.
And on a fast machine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and really awesome feedback on Poe. But let's just watch it. I will just start it. So let's just enjoy it. Yo,
Hey.
Yo.
really nice, really cool. Was it
Yeah.
on sync on the stream now, or was it?
I had a feeling there was like a little jump or two with the speed and synchronization, and the bass seemed to drop out a bit near the end. I thought, but maybe that was in the mix. I don't know.
Okay.
Hard to say.
You can always watch it in real time on your computer.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
should
Yeah.
run quite smoothly if it's not a phone, basically.
Yeah.
Don't watch it on the phone.
Oh, it's a really good phone.
Yeah. So,
I
Daria, you
there
did this like you were only two persons who did this. Can you tell us a bit about?
it was just me and my boyfriend, and it basically started, probably like 2 weeks before the party. I had this idea because I had a few scenes lying around that somehow started to make sense when I put screenshots of them next to each other. And I document, I work with Sketch, so I had a document where I just sometimes put screenshots of my cable sketches to see if I have a general theme developing with what I work in.
Okay.
Yes, and I noticed there was one. So I kind of playfully asked for some music maybe to sing it to. And then I got this track. And I thought, okay, I really have to step up my game because this is really nice music. So I went back, and basically at this point we had maybe 7 days to go until the deadline. So I went back and started really carefully remaking and putting together stuff that worked, and searching for something that kind of connected it beside the color theme. The color theme was kind of actually slightly different at that point. I'm kind of a one-trick pony. When I find something that works kind of well, I start abusing it until I'm tired of it. And I'm really a fan of the edge detect op. So that was.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Yes, we are, and even better when you slap some chromatic aberration on it. But edge detect and some basic, I don't know. I treated the post-processing like my Photoshop file. I just put some colors on it and watched what it could become. And that was my first element. I decided to continue through the entire demo. And then there's this simple trick actually with the triangle scenes where I see like the exploding planets and the tunnel with the orange sphere that explodes into triangles. This is the very much underused and underappreciated explode divided mesh op, which I randomly discovered and put on a polyhead, and suddenly it was kind of neat. So this was my second, and yes, basically it's not that much of black magic involved there, because I myself have only been making stuff for a year. Actually, it's been 1 year exactly 2 days ago since my first cableversary.
Cableversary. That's such a cool one.
Feels so much longer. I thought you were much longer with us already. Yeah.
And that's my timeline basically was that last year in July, shortly after you went online in public, I got myself an account, and since there wasn't much to do at work and the computer I had at work was more powerful than machine at home, I spent many days just trying out stuff. And because there were no expectations, I'm not a coder, I never did anything cool in my life. I was excited by everything, like by every little cube I managed to spin around. It was like, whoa, damn cool, that's almost demo scene. And of course there was a stream of always like, it would be so cool to make a demo someday, maybe in a few years, oh god, but definitely not soon because I'm such a noob. But then I also watched basically every single tutorial Andro did. Also because it was kind of relaxing to just follow along and basically Bob Ross the entire thing along with Andro.
Thank you.
You should also do that. Yeah, because there was so much when you open a patch which, for example, uses tons of arrays. It doesn't really make sense mathematically until you do it in an order for me. Because I'm also very not good at math. So following Andrew along, I start to see, okay, what happens when we take the points and multiply them? Okay, gets bigger, and so on. This is when you kind of get overwhelmed by all these big patches, but chunked down, it suddenly started making sense. And
yeah, you need to develop a feeling for it, right? So
yeah, exactly.
And when you like not be shy, just try it out, and then like you have a feeling what happens if I use this math op and this math op without really getting the math behind it. I think you can just use it in a creative way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this thing that you can't really break cables. I mean, you can absolutely totally break, but if you save something, you can also with the bug fixes, you basically can't anymore. But I just started randomly looking at the op list and taking something, one new op each day, and slapping things together. And sometimes it looked cooler than the level of difficulty that it was for me. So things started to happen, and yeah, there we go with the demo. But it also probably wouldn't have happened if Tamu, my boyfriend, wouldn't have made the big patching, like the framework the demo is put together with, because it's kind of very neatly organized and yeah, it just works. So putting together scenes wasn't that hard for me, and it also wasn't my job. My job was also to just make things. But yeah, it's basically a collection of pretty cheap tricks, like the scene that the screenshot is made from is a surface scatter with some spheres inside
Is there even like a modeled mesh in there, or is this all cable?
No. That's also
hey
something.
Guys. Sorry to interrupt for a minute. KB wants to join the channel, Tom, but he says the channel is maxed out.
Really? Already?
He can also just join me on the couch.
Okay, yeah, wait.
Join you on the couch.
I don't know what the problem is.
It's very analog. Maybe he's got good lighting somewhere else.
Okay, I changed it to 7
the lighting
people.
Is also better here.
All right. Oh, couch it is.
But that's strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm almost finished talking about the cheapery of the tricks. Like
cheap tricks. Hello.
Yeah, cheap tricks. And there's the cheap trick expert, basically, who helped me put this together.
Hey, KB.
Hey, KB.
Yeah.
So did you like do it with a timed sequence, like in the Twitch stream tutorial, or how did you organize the scenes?
So basically what I did was I just I fumbled around with the timeline a bit. Then I decided that basically having a timeline is okay, but the animation features didn't resonate with me that much. So I just used the timeline time. I just used the timeline time that's coming from music, and I basically did a bit of math to to basically sync that to the BPM of the music.
Don't you have the patch link, so you can just open the patch and maybe it would be easier to visualize?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah. So when we did the MFX demos, so Uncle X also wanted to synchronize to BPM. And yeah, I think we need like a UI element for time, and then you can switch between frames and seconds and BPM or beats or something like this.
So basically what I did was one multiply, one division, and then I basically converted seconds into bars.
Right.
And then I had a bit of logic that basically did a trigger every measure and a trigger every bar and a trigger every 16th note. And but most of all, I just used the variable with like which bar is it, and used that for animation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best feature you guys have built is to introduce the variable stuff, so you can. It's so easy to just shift around and change and pull a variable from everything without actually pulling the cables.
And the rest is it's a real it's a lot of simple map range operators that basically say, hey, okay, from bar, it's not a bar, it's a takt. It's from measure 20 to measure 40. Just do this value from 3 to 5 and put a smooth step in.
Right.
So this is basically how a lot of how the animation was done. Then I did a custom version of the trigger if between then op.
Yeah.
That had a bit of that could be where you could basically also define a fade in and fade out range. And so I could say, okay, that part with like that effect runs from bar 40 to bar 48 and has a fade in of like 1 bar or 1 measure and a fade out of 1 measure.
Right.
And so this is the high level organization that I had. And then I just basically took a lot of this variable and put some math behind it and then put it to values. I mean, this is the good thing about being experienced with all the demo scene stuff. I do have a lot of weird math tricks in my brain how to convert musical position into animation.
Yeah.
Okay, here the link is coming.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, map range is like
map range is
also,
life.
Yeah, map range.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, but then also I did the
screaming in my ear.
What? Sorry. Then also I did the FFT area trick that Andrew showed in one of the streams. There where basically got all the hi-hats and the high percussion.
Yeah.
I couldn't really get the beat, but if you go to music sync a bit to the right,
yeah.
So there's this music.
Yeah, nicely organized patch, by the way.
And straight lines. I'm so happy with that.
It's Pando's straight lines, not our straight lines.
Right. So I think I have to switch because
but basically I took the timeline time, converted it into measures and beats, and
so you patched it. You didn't write an op for this, basically. Yeah.
I did that, but then so this is basically. So I had triggers on every bar, on every beat, on every 8th, on every 16th note. Then left to that, you see the FFT stuff that I could get the hi-hats and cymbals. And then if you go down in the main patch, basically there's a big section to the lower left of the main thing.
Scenes? Oh.
Of that patch there. Those are all the parts, the scenes. And there I had my custom if between then.
Deluxe.
For every scene, which basically determines which scene runs from when to when and how long does it take to fade in and fade out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Such a clean patch. Love it.
Yeah.
I love clean patches.
Patches for everything really helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we also kind of planned to basically, if someone wants to see the patch. There's no secrets there, and I learned everything from stealing from other people, basically, being inspired by other patches. So I'm absolutely all for sharing what we've done with the community, because that's how I got anything done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to make it public, or?
We could.
We could.
Perhaps clean it up a bit more, but then make it public. Yeah.
Nice.
One trick I actually had for getting out of the stress of releasing at a demo party. If you go to top level again, there's a debug section, and I really used the UI mode op quite a lot, because there's all that thing like the sidebar and debug features, and I basically connected everything to the UI mode op so that I knew as soon as I export, all that stuff is off.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That's
And
a good
this
one.
really works because, of course, we submitted at the last second, and if I had to change up the patch to make it export ready, that wouldn't have worked. So that was a really good
This
idea in the end.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is,
that was my panic moment where I shortly before walking away from my demo and leaving it to the Destiny, I saw a little exactly this thing, and I was okay. We absolutely are going to forget that this exists.
Yeah, but I made sure right at the beginning that we can forget that it exists and
yeah.
won't go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also do this. It's cool. And this is like, and then you watch at the timing, at the numbers, and then you use them for syncing, basically.
Yeah. And the animation is basically a mixture of that timeline-based animation, of normal animation ops, and the FFT stuff. But the important stuff was that I was able to scrub in the timeline and just go to a certain time and look.
Also, if you press Shift D.
Yeah, Shift D.
When on the screen, when focused on the yes, you get the measure count.
Right.
So
need just D in the viewport.
It's
basically the stuff. It's the stuff you did in the stream. I copied that out. Only that it's a toggle, not a hold.
Right.
Yeah.
That really helped me making because I did the initial animations roughly. That really helped me realize that I'm absolutely not working with the numbers I'm supposed to be working with, which in my normal life probably would have cost me a day and some tears, but then I just knew.
Yeah. So that's the cue sheet of the music in which measure happens what.
Right.
Yeah.
These
are a few textures that we generate at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. So at first I had I kind of tried to eyeball the post-processing on every sub-patch, which was a horrible idea. But like at the end, I just had this patch where everything I reused post-processing wise, I had these global, these variables for.
Where's the post-processing?
So we come to the one problem that we had, that I had in the end, optimization-wise. So the post-processing is in the scenes. Every scene has its own post-processing, but which also means it still works, but it eats GPU mem without end, because all the image compose ops and all the render to texture ops, they just create a texture and then keep it even if it doesn't run anymore. So this is the one problem. It took way too much GPU mem at the end, especially at high resolutions. So this is one thing. And it wasn't easy to fix. It's of course we could have basically redone the post processing,
but I was too lazy.
Yeah,
it still worked.
Yeah,
it did.
We made demos with so many image composers in full resolution, but and never. Yeah, I mean. So, what are we talking about? This thing runs on a few years old laptop, right? So
Yeah, but as soon as you increase the resolution, it gets bad. So I think we're in the gigabytes of VRAM if we run it at full HD. And I tried to do a 4K capture, and absolutely no chance on my normal graphics card.
Okay.
Because it's swapping. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But as I said, doing the patch in a different way, especially like doing one post processing for all the scenes and not each scene has its own post processing, that basically would have fixed it.
Yeah. Memory is there for wasting it, I think.
There's like basically I hadn't used any like 3D complicated measure stuff. I also haven't used repeat op because I learned from Andrew that mesh instancer is the only way to put everything on screen. So there was some computing power to spare for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the mesh instance, but there are some things, especially the smaller ones, that the repeat op is actually really, really good. It's just when people throw like 70 repetitions at it with something really complex, and then they go, "Oh, why is it not working so good anymore?" It's always difficult to explain to people the CPU, GPU balance.
I mean, the problem is that it should be easier to pre-calculate stuff on like bake meshes or stuff like this, or like calculate it to arrays with a repeat, and then use it with other rendering technologies. But yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great.
This is
really love it.
Yeah, there's like tons of cheap tricks, because if you look at the scenes, it's not that much.
No,
like
the scenes aren't really that complicated.
Yeah, I mean the scene you're just focused on with the.
Where is it?
Pyramid, I think.
That's the one with pyramids.
That's an area scalar on a rectangle with some pyramids.
Yeah.
And you just scroll through the area, and yeah.
I'm just curious, because how did you get that, like this bright highlight, like on the side? Is that with just a point light or something?
That's a question for me. This is all in the post-processing. It's a depth texture, which is my with
a gradient.
There's also light, but this is a depth texture. My post-processing is also always outside. Yes, exactly. And yes, there you go.
There
it is.
No, okay. Here, edge detection.
This is also how you get like these tiny lines. Tiny lines in. I kind of discovered it by accident. I mean, when you don't know anything about how graphics work, you kind of do dumb shit until something looks cool. And you aren't afraid of nothing. Basically, you don't know rules, so you don't break any. And I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Should it work like this? I don't know. Probably okay. So it also has this consistency, so I just kept it in.
Yeah, no, it looks fabulous. I remembered a while ago something I was working on when you do this kind of trick. If you invert the edge detection, you can kind of give stuff this like black outline, like the Borderlands game as well. Edge detection is awesome.
Yeah, and if you use depth, you can also have so many layers of different styles depending where stuff is. So just go wild with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my cheap tricks.
Yeah, it's great. Super cool.
It's also kind of a show off for the cool Phong material, because we didn't have it's kind of newish, and it took me a while to figure out how all the stats work and how to put lights in and control the lights, what it does, how to play with it. And this was kind of my case study on it too. So many things I only learned while making the demo, then going back, remaking everything. But this is how you do it, especially when you're 2 minutes before deadline. This is where all the moments come in.
Working under pressure.
Some things while extremely stressed. You get very creative.
Yeah, for sure. That's also kind of good. I mean, you can just sometimes spend a whole week tweaking this stuff if you've got the time, right? But when you don't have a lot of time, it'll just force you to make decisions. And if you've got a strong base, it'll just turn out fine. Like in this case, it's awesome.
I mean, the scene with the triangle sphere wireframe and the sphere in it and the point material floor, I had to come up with 1 hour before deadline, and I needed 2 scenes. So it's one scene, and I thought, okay, what's the easiest thing I can make? What's comfort zone-ish for me? And it's wireframes and spheres And point material was something I remembered. Okay, I don't have to come up with some airy stuff. Just make something that's like already there because you guys coded it. Like you coded it for the people. I am the people. I'm absolutely going to abuse this. So the scene is there 2 times, and basically for the first, like I did the first time in the pink cyan color theme. Then I went and inverted the blending mode basically, so I had a dark look, and suddenly it also made sense from a dramaturgical perspective because it fits the idea of aphelion, which actually is the point furthest away on the orbit from the sun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, great. Yeah, so
Yeah,
1,000
amazing.
ops, it's not that small as it looks when you open it. It's quite big actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we use some ops.
Yeah, great. Yeah, really great. And yet, Cabby, like, how long didn't you do any music for a demo?
Long.
Yeah.
6 years or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I think the last one was the last one for a demo. Oh no, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I did for Metoikos. She did a 64K intro for online.
Ah, okay.
And she asked me to do music with Gaga synthesizer, and
yeah, but you should do it more often, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, it was absolute fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. A bit stressful, but fun.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I basically forgot that he kind of released some demos in the past. So when he said we got this, I didn't really believe that we got this. Road rage, basically. Yeah. Go out of the way. I have to do everything by myself.
That was basically always my plan B.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing all of this. And
yeah, you're welcome. And thanks for making something this cool to work with. I mean, this is everything I never dared to dream about.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I would really love it if you share this patch. That would be so awesome for a lot of people, because my demos never look as clean as this, so I'm always too shy to share them. But this was really neatly organized. But yeah, yeah, that would be great. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay.
Cool.
Do you have any other questions or something? So I don't know how we will continue with other people, or any questions or stuff like this.
What does chat say? Maybe.
Pardon?
Ask Panda everything you always wanted to know about cables.
Now's the chance. Don't waste it.
Yeah, Stefan said wir machen Bund was in Cables cast, but I didn't get it. So
I didn't see him either.
if anyone wants to join and ask some questions about the demo or anything in Cables, just don't be shy and just join. Otherwise, we will look at the forum and go from there.
And even if we're looking at the forum, you can also jump in and interrupt us, because we can just like carry on at any point with that.
We could also, I should open the chat. So there was some activity in the chat. We can also just show how to develop shaders in Cables, which was a question last time.
We just got a question on Twitch from Demo Epso. So it's all JavaScript?
It's all JavaScript.
It's all JavaScript.
Yeah, exactly. So the stuff on the CPU is all in written in JavaScript, but the actual work, like the graphic rendering work, is done on the GPU. So that's GLSL shader language. And you can write both of this in the UI in cables.
Which is cool if you know JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that you can basically look at every operator's code and just, hey, okay, let's copy paste that and change it a bit if an op doesn't do exactly what you want it to do. So yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's it's a bit of a like an open source idea that you can just clone it and make it better. And this is also how we do it. So yeah, I would just talk about this stuff, right? So you can always look at the source code of an op and then change it. And this is in the ops are written in JavaScript, and there's an IDE inside of cables where you can write your own ops, and when you save this, the ops are recreated. But oops, I'm not used to Windows. So you can also just write shaders. So we have some awesome live shader coders in here, like Alkmaar. Alkmaar, do you want to join us maybe? So let's just try it. You can just use an op which is called custom shader, and with this op you can write your own shader like in ShaderToy basically. So you can write a pixel shader and also a Vertex shader just here. So now this is not JavaScript, this is shader language, GLSL shader language code. And you can just go in here and change the color of this by changing the values in here. And we can use this shader for any kind of mesh. You can also load your own mesh and then put the shader on your mesh. You can also say like, I wanna animate in this shader, so you can have uniforms. For example, I would just create a uniform float time. So then you see this op just got a new input here. And I can connect a timer to it. So now I could use this time for the red channel. So now you see my red channel is animated. Let's make it a bit more clear. So you can use stuff that's already there in cables and just connect it to your own shader.
Yep.
Which is quite handy. So you can also, so we saw this post-processing they did. Maybe you are missing something from the post-processing. So I don't know, let's use FBM. Let's generate a texture here. And make this a good size. And now we create a uniform sampler 2D, it's called text. So now you see we have an input here for a texture. So I can connect my image, compose my generated texture to it, and can say
Yeah, and if I'm correct, Tom, we've also now got a more up-to-date thing on the docs, right, with the variables initializers for the shader stuff.
Yeah, but I have a long list of stuff I still want to add there. But yeah, yeah, totally. So now we sample our texture, and you can. So maybe you want to write your own post-processing. So you can use, like, set the art channel of this texture with our timing stuff. So then you get this. And there's also, you can also, right now it's bound to this rectangle, right? So it's on a mesh. But you can also say, oops. You can also say stuff like shader to texture.
Yeah.
And connect it here. And now we get a texture out of this. So with this texture, you can do other post-processing stuff.
Cool.
So there's a lot of possibilities. You can also use this kind of stuff for writing a particle system. So you calculate your particle system in your fragment shader basically, and use this texture for positioning stuff. So this is a bit more the advanced stuff, but I just want to share it. Let me search for a patch.
I just wanted to say that I'm going to jump out of the video thing,
Okay.
and maybe Alma will then join in, who I'm now trying to basically force.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us
But
and
I'll hang around
showing
in the
us all
chat.
the stuff. Okay, cool.
Bye.
Bye.
One second.
So we've got spots in the cables cast, everybody. So if you want to join, don't be shy. Just jump in.
Yeah, there are 2 slots open there.
And if you don't want to show your camera, that's fine. But we just need a voice. That would also be awesome.
So this is a bit more advanced example. So we have a custom shader, and this creates a texture with coordinates, and they are used in a vertex as vertex positions basically. With this vertex position from texture. So you can write your. This is a public example. You can find it if you search for vertex position particles example. So yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with it.
Tom, we just got a quick question from Where Malcolm Burns. I gave a very short answer though. Stupid question because I never tried. Can I just use shader toy code in cables right away, or are there limits?
Didn't you make a tutorial?
Actually, no. That's in the planning.
Yeah. So basically, what's possible in shader toy is also possible in cables. It's just the variables are different, right, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong with what I'm going to say now, Tom. You know, so like shader toy is just basically a fragment shader running on 2 triangles, which is a rectangle, right? And they just expose a couple of variables like eye time. For us, that's what Tom just showed you a minute ago with like creating a uniform input with and calling it timer. And you plug the time in, and then you've got that. And they've got like a couple of they've just already got like textures built in. Yeah, I think we showed it so you can't load your own shaders, which is also kind of cool. Your own textures, sorry, because then you're limited to use those few things there. But basically, if I'm correct, like with cables, you just get a full screen rectangle up. You grab the custom shader up. You output that to the full screen rectangle, and if you just do a couple of tweaks with the, say you want to port something from shader toy to cables, you just got to make sure that some of the variables match up, like is the sampler 2D formatting the same and stuff like that, and then it should just work, right, Tom?
Yeah. In theory, yes, but they have some. I think, like their resolution is in pixels or something like this.
Yeah.
There are some things that are totally different, but yeah, we should make a tutorial or a template that you can use and copy over shaders. Do we have a visitor?
No, that was KB just leaving.
Okay. Yeah, but I would say everything that you can do in shader toy is possible here. And also one thing I never got in shader toy, like you cannot preview your buffer textures, which is super strange to me.
You got to do a lot of typing and then send it to main, but no, you can't do that. I mean, I remember doing some stuff when I was experimenting with this, where I ported like 3 or 4 shader toy patches over to cables, and then I was using like buffers basically. So I should actually dive somewhere into that stuff. It was almost a year ago, clean up and maybe just release it with just like some really simple stuff. And do a tutorial actually, but just keep it really, really simple. Just find a good patch which has only a couple of the basic things that covers it for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So basically it's this eye resolution, they call it. And the text code is called UV, I think. And maybe also the UV is not from 0 to 1. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's from 0 to 1 in shader toy.
Oh, okay.
So they've got eye resolution, and with us, I think you just make 2 inputs on custom shader and get the main width and height out of main loop and plug that in. And then if you change your canvas size, then the custom shader will also get the pixel size that's updated as well. You create a timer uniform in and sample a 2D as your texture lookup. And if you make another custom shader op and do shader to texture, that's how you can create this kind of buffer stuff, if I'm correct. So it's not that different. You just gotta make a few ops, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I think it's all like that in shader toy is because you don't have much of a UI. It's just a text editor. So that's it, and you just pick only a very few things in the UI, like a texture or something. Yeah, I'll add that to the to-do list on GitHub.
Yeah. We called it Uni because so we have this. We have also in and out, and so cables. So in and out is in WebGL 2, and in WebGL 1 it was varying, or varying. So we define that we use in and out like as it's a defined thing. This guy I can also show. So all the shaders, like if you have WebGL 2, they will be they compile on WebGL 1 or 2, like if you don't use like special WebGL features. But if you use WebGL 2 features, you can. But if you don't, like it runs on both WebGL 1 or 2, so it also runs on your iPhone.
Right.
And also, when you write shaders or shader ops, we have an operator called shader info. So you can always look at the final shader code. So you can plug in a shader info at some point here and say show fragment, then you see it's actually just a define in and uniform. So this is compiled with GLSL3, and then you see the whole shader code, which is not much here. But let me show some more advanced stuff. So here, so let me put the basic material and then shader info. So now, so you can always look at the source code of the basic material and of the shader code. That's no problem, but you can also see the finished code here. So this is what is generated by the cables shader preprocessor, I would say.
Yeah.
So you see there's a lot of defines for the basic material. So most of the code is not even executed because they are all disabled right now. So you can see this. You can also see the vertex shader of everything. And one special thing about cables is you can basically extend existing shaders.
Tom, it's hard. I don't think we've seen that on the stream right now, what you just pulled down. If you're going to do anything there.
Pardon?
Because we're overlaying with the video. I don't know
we are also super big.
Yeah. Just in case there's something down there people need to see. Perfect.
So this is just a basic material, so it's just one color basically. But I can let me use a cube. So there's this concept of shader modifiers in Cable. So I can now use, they are called shader effects. So there's a list of stuff that extends your shader. So there's, for example, color area. So, and now you see I can move this thing around and it will colorize my mesh. Let me make it a bit more visible. So this one, so you can set a color and then it colorizes your mesh where you put it. So around this corner, for example. And so this is still rendered only once, this mesh. And this is, the magic is in here. You can now see our shader has been changed. So now we have, you see here, there's a mod in their color area. So, and here is all the work done to just colorize this differently. And what's with your dogs, Mark?
Yeah, it's Cobblers Tour is actually pretty quiet, all things considering, for this time of the day.
And I can just stack this. So, for example, I can just add some pixel noise to it. So,
just give me one moment, son.
This is just some Perlin noise that's added on top now. So you can also, you can just remove it again. And you can use this for make your, without using a texture, you can make your mesh like a little pixelated when you do it like this, for example. Why is it? Needs a blend mode actually.
Mesh pixel noise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the shader system, and it actually got quite a few updates internally with the new release, where it's even more flexible than now. But yeah, for this we don't have an op yet, so there's no custom shader effect op. For this, you really have to clone this op and change the shader code in here, basically. So you have to write JavaScript in this, but it's not that much. It's not so much JavaScript, I would say.
No.
Yeah. All those hidden gems. Yeah, it's really hard to communicate this. But yeah, we will try. Yeah, we need this. We need this custom shader mod, so you can just write and change this material. So, by the way, this was a question on the forum. So we answered the first forum question, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We're Mark and Brent. It's I've been using cables now for almost 2 years, and I'm still finding new ops and uses and combinations and little things under the hood. I think it's impossible to learn all this stuff. A lot of the time, it's just like so Steam said to me the other day, you find out what your problem is and then you work on the solution. So if you try and learn everything from cables, I think that would already take more time than you'd be busy making something, especially with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Anything else about the shaders? I'm just thinking. Okay. Oh, Mark, do you have any idea or any remarks?
No, I mean, just for the people that are seeing this kind of stuff for the first time, we do have quite a detailed tutorial, which is about 6-8 minutes long on YouTube on how to do the basic stuff that Panda just said with the custom shader op. So if you just want to do that in your own time and you think, oh, I couldn't keep track of this, just head over to YouTube. We've got like one video specifically made for this kind of stuff that'll get you started. Basically, yeah, I think you know what it is, Tom. I just think like you could do 10 streams about this kind of stuff, basically, with just picking like one little specialization, and then just that alone be like an hour and a half of like really dense information for people. I think it's just really good right now that people are exposed to this. Like, hey, this is possible, basically.
Yeah, we should do this.
Weermachenboom just asked a question. What about web GPU? How will this impact cables?
A lot, I would say.
Okay, so just at Silicon 5, what's web GPU?
So WebGL is actually like in the web. It seems like it's crazy modern and fast and the future, but actually like the technology that we're using here is like 10 years old or something. So it's like WebGL 2. I actually don't know, but it's the old it's the old OpenGL, the old desktop GL. So on the desktop, like games that are programmed now, they have a lot more possibilities to do. So we are kind of restricted, and there is no. So for WebGL, they said, okay, for the browser, we will not use like normal OpenGL. We will use OpenGL ES, which is like the mobile version of OpenGL. Okay. So they said, let's just use this standard and then go with this. And now the problem is that this standard was never renewed. So OpenGL ES3, which is basically WebGL 2. Which is super confusing, this naming, but yeah. So there is no more modern mobile graphics library standard. So then there was a big fight, and everyone said like, yeah, okay, let's just use Vulkan, and Apple said let's use Metal or whatever it's called. So, and then the browser companies like Chrome, Mozilla, and Apple, they sat on a table and they decided, okay, WebGPU, this is the new modern next thing.
Right.
So this has much more possibilities. So one thing is you can write shaders that are not only setting pixels and vertices, but they can just calculate stuff and do this in a much better way than we are doing stuff right now. So we don't have to calculate particles and save the positions in colors, but you have like dynamic buffers you can exchange between shaders and stuff like this. So it's way more easy to do way more complex stuff. And yeah, so this is in alpha or beta now. I think you can use it on Apple devices already, and maybe also on Chrome nightly on Windows or something. So it's slowly getting there, and it looks really neat. And yeah, we have to change a lot in the core for this. But I hope that we can basically just recompile or like automatically reuse our shaders that we have now and then write more modern ones on top of that. So I think we are set up good to that cables can be compatible, but probably there will be some, when you create a new patch, you select like WebGL or WebGPU in the future, but I don't know when we come to do this.
Yeah, I think we'd have more bugs to fix now.
Yeah, then we have like 2 platforms. Like,
Let's get this one down first.
Yeah, but I'm totally stoked about WebGPU.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, but I don't think I've got at least anything more to ask or bring up about shader stuff, Tom. So I'm just going to say to the people on Twitch, if we'll give you like 30 seconds. Oh, hold it. All right, this is great. We're getting questions. That's great. We're Mac and Burns. What's the state of the new UI? Do you want to show it?
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's get the hype train rolling.
So Biermachenbund seems to have some insider information.
Yeah, how did he get that? What's going on? What don't I know about?
So what he means, like, we are working on a new UI because is it already there? So we are working on a new UI because what you see here is kind of slow. So if you have a patch without sub-patches and 400 ops or something, then it really gets slow and annoying, and yeah, it's not great. So just put your stuff in sub-patches, then it's okay-ish, but still it's too slow. This is SVG, so this web vector-based technology.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really scalable for what we are doing. So so we are developing a new UI, so it will look the same in the end, more or less, but it will be much faster and smooth. So so I can show this. So when I reload the patch now, I switch to the new user interface, so the new patch field. So you see it's not looking that different, but you see it's way smoother.
That's just so smooth.
Look, I added a new
selection
style.
Ooh, okay, that's really juicy.
And so,
yeah, this is very fast and smooth. So this is all being drawn basically on the GPU, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all. So
Look at
imagine like this is like all this is drawn with like 3 mesh instances. Just imagine like everything you see on the screen is drawn with a mesh instancer. And you see that there's no slowdown, like it's running in 60 FPS all the time.
If you do this with the old editor with the CPU, it'd just be really slow right now.
Yeah,
and stuttering.
We can try. So if I switch back, well. So you see this already. So now you see this is just like one.
Yeah, look at that, 2 FPS.
Yeah, this is really slow, and it's strange that like nowadays this is just basically we're just drawing rectangles and some text. I don't know how. And the strange thing is,
mouse responsiveness is really fast over stuff.
So this is okay, yeah. Just the scrolling is slow. But yeah. So this will be great, but there's still a lot of stuff to do with this. So basically we have to like I rewrote the whole patch field UI from scratch. And there's, I mean, the basic stuff works. You can disconnect and connect. It looks a bit wrong colors. You cannot shake, for example, and it has a lot of small bugs, but yeah, and look at this.
Yeah, I love this with the circle. So now it's like basically where you click with that circle, that's where the op is, right? That's amazing. Yeah. That's really sweet.
Yeah, so you cannot not drag in and stuff. Yeah.
So Tom, my question is it going to be possible for me to be able to get that entire thing as a texture and apply like my own CRT monitor cyberpunk style VHS glitch over it while I'm patching?
Theoretically, yes, but yeah, not right now. But yeah, it would be possible, like, because this is just WebGL basically.
Yeah.
This
is so fast and smooth. It's really nice to look at.
It's also an idea like to maybe render it in the same renderer as your output. But yeah, there are a lot of ideas floating around.
Right.
Yeah, we have to see. Yeah, you see those kind of bugs.
Yeah. That's not a bug. That's a feature.
I think when I go in and back, then it's actually right. I think.
This was a sub patch you just made, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like this. It's not updating, but yeah.
From Mimi, let's put cables inside the cable so you can cable while you cable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting there, and then yeah. And the next step then is to do this in VR.
Oh man,
yeah, that's the next step.
Got my Oculus just waiting right here.
Yeah, so this will probably still take a few months until we can show it.
Yep. I think this is really amazing, and it's gonna make working on bigger patches, especially just a thing of the past.
Also, the flow mode will be for free. It will not be slow down anything at all. Which is so you can have it on all the time. It's not doing anything to your performance, basically. Yeah, you see here that everything is drawn in 2 milliseconds right now. So
yeah, it's crazy fast. Or if we make cables in VR, we can combine it with physical exercise. Okay, but then you can't use sub patches. You have to just draw long cables everywhere and reach out and pull it along.
You need a big house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's gonna be coming out at some point in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, do you think once if you deem it stable enough, are you going to add that just like we saw in the menu where users can see it's an experimental feature and then like turn it on to try it out?
Yeah, totally. I don't think we will make the switch from one day to another. I think it will be a longer phase.
Okay.
And yeah, it will probably there will be some missing things for a longer time, but yeah, I think it needs some more fine-tuning and tweaking, and then we can roll it out for beta test or alpha test. But yeah, probably it will still be a few months because it's really hard to make time to work on this.
Right.
Because they're always features that needed by clients or other bug fixes or stuff like this. So yeah, so we are working on it.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe if there are any other questions. Are there? Other than that, we can show this new ray marching thing.
Raycasting? Just saying. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a great thing because if I can just say a little bit about the general thing, so to everybody, we kind of get it a lot of the time on the forums where people basically they want to be able to interact with things on the screen, and that could be like a cube or a circle or maybe like text mesh, which is like text in 3D, like on a rectangle, for example. And in the past, I think we had like color picker, right, Tom? That op. But if I'm correct, that's a bit tricky to get using and to use, and sometimes the results weren't so consistent. So Tom has got a really cool, amazing thing to show, which makes all this a thing of the past. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yeah, so we have it already, but it was really a pain to use. So this guy, he wants to. So basically, you just want to have a 3D element that you can click. That's the basic question and the basic problem, basically. So we have this physics engine in cables, which is CanJS. So it's this physics engine, and you can also use this for checking, like, if your mouse is over a 3D object, basically.
Yeah.
So this is rendered with 3JS, but this physics library is like engine independent, so we could also integrate it into cables. So we already did some examples with like actual physics, but we will just use this for checking if anything is under your mouse for now. So let's. So maybe I would just show it without
Maybe just show it with like a cube and a sphere. Is that possible?
Yeah. Okay.
Tom? Just two really simple meshes.
Yeah. So what we have to do is like we have to add. So it's called like a world. So in a world there's physics stuff. So this is basically how every physics engine works. Like you create a world and then you put stuff in there, and then you can interact with them, or you can simulate the physics, or cast a ray from your mouse to see what's under your mouse. We will see this later. So we have an op that's called world. So you see it's in the physics namespace, and it's called world. Minimal size of a cables.gl exported project is around 50K or 80K, something like below 100K for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we create this world object here, and now we can well, we can make it smaller, Alkamar, if you want.
What do you mean?
I was wondering if he finds this small or big, but yeah. So we can add a cube to this for now. So and we don't see anything because this is just a simulated cube, basically.
Right.
So in Word we can say draw bodies, and now we see something there. So the thing is, like usually, like this is attached to a mesh or something. In cables it isn't, so you have to create like a real cube and put it at this position. So you can easily do tricks like the physics cube is a bit bigger than the real cube. But yeah, that's not important for now. So we have this outline here, and this outline means there is a physics object there. So now we can. So now you can simulate physics and stuff, but we now want to check if something under your mouse, and I already said it, like it's the method is like you cast a ray from your mouse into infinity basically, and then you see like it collides with objects. So one thing a physics engine does is checking what is colliding with something. So in GTA you drive your car against the wall and then the wall is not moving, or you drive it against a lamp and then the lamp is crashing or something. So the physics engine is checking like what are you hitting right now.
Yep.
But you can also check if a ray from your mouse is hitting something. So that's what we want to do. So we have this operator called cast ray, and this will just do this it will cast a ray from a screen coordinate and see what's below it. So to do this, first of all, we want to have our physics cube easily identifiable. So we can give it a name like best cube. And what is it called in Portal? Companion cube. Let's call it companion cube. So, and now the cast ray has this string output name. So this is basically what's under the coordinate that we gave it. So we gave it the coordinate 0, 0. So it's exactly in the center of the screen, and it's just hitting the cube. So if I change this to 2, 2, you see there's no result. Basically, it doesn't have a hit. So we can just plug in our mouse up here, and then it's not only the center of the screen, and you have to do this. And now it's not only the center of the screen, but exactly like where your mouse is. And now you see, let's make it a bit clearer. And connect this to a text mesh. And now you see it says null, and when I hover over the cube, you see it's showing the name of the cube. So I can just add more cubes like this. And I can just use normal transformation ops to move it around. And you see there is no rotation because actually they are really simple. Oh, Mark's gone. They're really simple axis aligned cubes, so they are always like this. So it's not pixel perfect if you rotate your cubes or anything. So let's call this best cube. So now you see when I hover this, it's called best cube, and when I hover this, it's called companion cube. So you can create a whole 3D world and put stuff in there. So this was kind of working before, but we put in some new stuff. So for example, we have this physics body array. So you can create a lot of cubes with one thing. So this is basically like the mesh instancer, but for creating physics cubes. And you see, so you see they actually automatically get names like they're like named from random 0 to randoms 99 or something. So yeah, you can create easily a lot of pickable stuff with this. And let's see what Mark says. Like, if anyone wants to join me, just don't be shy. Just come in. Like, I really want to see at least one person coming in here today. So please give me that favor, please. So you can position this by hand if you want, but you can also do this with the GLTF. So with my awesome Blender skills, I create this complex scene with a few cubes in here, and I just want to make them clickable in my patch. So I can export this this GLB file, so this 3D scene, to my drive and upload it to cables. So I will just drag it here. So this is the GLB file I just created. and I will create a GLTF scene. So let me just remove all of this for now. And load this scene. So now you see this is our loaded 3D scene. Let's make it a bit 3D-ish.
Can you hear me now, Tom?
Yeah, hi.
Sorry about that. Internet just dropped out in the whole place for a few minutes, so we just restarted some stuff, and I'm back again.
That was really quick.
Okay.
Okay, so I just loaded my awesome Blender scene.
Wow, you've been practicing.
Yeah, and I now can do 4 cubes. And I really need something to drink, so I'll be back in 10 seconds, okay?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to get one as well. All right.
There was some bug, but yeah. So we loaded the GLTF scene, and by default this is not clickable or anything because the GLTF scene op doesn't do anything with physics. So I wrote a new op which is called GLTF physics bodies. So this op you can use and just connect to the GLTF scene. And by default, it just takes all, like you see, it's already working.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
By default, it just uses every mesh you have in there. But you can say, so I just want to use cube 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So this is like, if you say cube, then it will use. Oops, sorry.
Well, hold it, Tom. Could you get the string output from the cast ray and then feed that into the physics op so it highlights the one that you're over? So if you get the string output from cast ray now and you plug that into the GLTF physics filter, that wouldn't work?
No.
Ah, okay.
Because but it's not really highlighting. This is the orange lines are just debugging. So usually you would turn this off.
Sure.
But it's a good question. Let's try. I know where you're what you are after. Let's try this. Let's try this when this is clear. So yeah, so I could just say like I have a group of things I want to have clickable, like windows or I don't know, chairs or tables or something. Then you can create different groups and name them differently. And yeah, you can make it a bit bigger than the actual mesh.
Yeah.
And and create your groups and make them interactive. So Mark, what you just said, like we can't we?
But I'm just thinking if you get the string output from cast ray and plug that into the physics bodies.
Yeah, this wouldn't work because you need to have everything clickable so that it hovers, right? So then it would just be that one. But what you probably like I like this is so new and really never tested it that much.
Okay.
But so we can create a GLTF node with the cube with the name by the name, and then it creates this mesh here, right?
Yeah.
So what if we connect this name here? Yeah, this works. So it's just that the oh yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's probably not so easy, but
I mean, I'm asking a pretty random question now, but like, if I'm looking
yeah,
at this correctly, though, Tom, like, let's say you've got those 4 cubes, right? You know, this really allows people to create like playful interactive scenes. So you could say, if cube 001 has been clicked, do a bool anim so it moves to the left. And the cool part is now you can move to its new position with the mouse and click on it again. I think this will open like a huge amount of new interactivity options with like the mouse or a touchscreen and the meshes in the scene.
Yeah, and also like when we look at Castra, it has a lot of outputs. So this is mostly coordinates. So you even know like the normal that you're hovering over.
Right.
So it can just use.
Could you put a shape where the ray is intersecting, like with the side of a cube? Okay.
Exactly. So this way, let's make it really small.
Yeah.
So now you see.
Is it because it's interacting with the text that's there?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure what's happening, but we could. Why don't we have the? Yeah, we need the position of the mesh actually to output it. Yeah, I guess this is missing. Wow. Why? Okay.
Is it being triggered now though, the if true then? Yeah, okay. Because I'm sure I've seen this working in another patch.
I think, yeah, let me reload. Why? Yeah, something is off. It just worked before that. What did I change? This is all fine. Yeah, okay, there's still some bugs there, but yeah, so actually we will make it possible that you can make like a hover effect when you hover over this cube, that you can put another cube around it, or you actually get the position of this of where the mouse hit the cube in 3D.
Right. Yeah.
This should totally work. I don't know what I changed. Now it's okay. Look, now it's working. Okay. So yeah, this is still a problem when we rescale the scene. I think then the physics stuff is not rescaled with it.
Right, it's not updating along with it. Okay, yeah, that would explain what we just saw then. Okay.
Yeah. So
but now you should be able to plug the position in and it should work now then, right?
Yeah, let's see. I
hope.
Okay.
Now it looks like it's got an offset. Yeah, okay.
So now you see
Yeah,
actually
okay.
where the mouse is hitting, and you get 3D coordinates of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what happened before? Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's okay, Tom. Cool.
So what happened before is like there's still a feature missing, so we can resize our 3D scene. And even though it looks
No? Yeah, it's off now.
the orange boxes look fine, but something is still off. So
Yeah.
when I turn off this rescale, then it actually is pixel perfect, and then you get exactly the hit position.
Shall I make an issue?
Yeah, sure.
You're doing a future on the stream.
Huh?
Which one is that GLTF scene rescale? Okay.
Yeah, the physics bodies needs to update. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So hold it. Is it the GLTF physics bodies up or the GLTF scene up?
The body's up.
Okay.
Yeah, it needs to remember if the scaling has changed. But yeah, this is really great for interactive stuff because it will just be so easy to create those interactive scenes without stuff like interactive rectangle, which is also cool. But yeah, it will be much easier to create interactive stuff. And
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because it's really amazing that you can just like get the ID of something in 3D space. You know, then you can just say, is this equal to that ID? Now do what I want it to do, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit with this kind of stuff. You can just also say, I want to trigger an entire part of an animation sequence inside of the GLTF up when somebody clicks on this part of it. I mean,
yeah, or make a camera movement or stuff like this.
For sure. And it's basically just triggering a state of the 3D scene. And I think this is a really amazing thing because, you know, it's like HTML elements like divs, for example, they allow you to do this in 2D, and that's really awesome. But, you know, 3D, that's always been kind of tricky. And I think once this system's refined, it's just going to make so much stuff so much easier.
Yeah.
It's like if you make 5 text meshes in 3D, you know, you've got your text in 3D. You know, when you were trying to do that before with like the interactive rectangle, that wouldn't exactly match up because it's a 2D element, but this works pretty much pixel perfect. So a lot of problems are really solved by this.
Yeah. So actually now that we figured this out, it works what I wanted to do. So I will just draw another cube over my old cube. So I have some sort of, this is also, there's something off, but now I have like a hover effect on 3D meshes. And yeah, you can also imagine like fading those in.
Yeah, fading in and out if it's like hitting or not. Yeah, totally. That's really cool. Really, really cool. I think this just takes so many. I think this is just actually going to take a lot of time for people to get used to because it's such a game changer. Just being able to just interact with a 3D scene. You know, a lot of the things that we're used to doing, I think, with cables patches is like touch control on a phone or a mouse wheel or orbit controls and things like that. But you know, this is just a real game changer. It's just you can now interact with an element in 3D space, which sounds really simple, but it's not. I'm really excited about this. So I just imagine right now, if I'm looking at this with these cubes, that I'd use a preset up with a camera with the positions, and you click, you know, one of these cubes, and you interpolate from one preset to another, and things like this. There's just so many possibilities.
Yeah, yeah. And also we have now this, right? You have like we can read GLTF cameras. This is also coming in the update.
I've still not used this at all.
Yeah.
A tutorial has to be made about this.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's still some problems, but we're getting there, and I'm really looking forward using this stuff. So everyone is quiet.
Yeah, I think that's because they're listening.
So yeah, this is basically, he wants to, I'm struggling to add a click event to an element. Basically, I would like to count how many times an object was clicked. There were already some answers. Hey, keep it visual. He's really cool. He's answering questions of other people quite a lot.
And this is what we want, man, that the community answers the community, because that's just exponential growth right there. You know, that's just hopefully gonna keep on working. We really think it's great when people can help each other. Because we want to help everybody as much as we can on the forums, but we just sometimes got those busy days where it creeps by and we can't put as much time into it as we'd like.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, one of the whole ideas of tonight for Tom was like, hey, let's go through these forum posts and answer them on the stream. And then just before the stream, we took a look, and then I think Tom said, yeah, a lot of them have already been answered. Which is kind of good.
Yeah, I thought the situation was worse.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, we're 2 weeks behind, but it was really not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so we could try to, if there's nothing else. I want to try something. So I want to count like the clicks on each cube basically. So
string equals. I just did string equals with the output, and if it equaled, I did trigger change true, and then just triggered.
No, I want a counter for each cube, basically.
Okay. You're going to do it in the less ops than Andro method.
I don't know what I just want to try this. So let's see what happens. Probably I will fail miserably. Oh no, it's working. Nice.
Yo. Sweet.
So we can use this number to string. Let's just create a nice string. So let's say the name, and then the number, and then an X. So, okay. Why is the string not updating? Oh wait. Oh, I'm connecting. This is the text mesh, so this is the text that is printed. Sorry. So now we see this is 1450 times clicked.
Yeah.
It's not, should update. Let me clean up a bit. So why is this not updating when I click? probably... crashed. Sorry, I built an infinite loop right there. Yeah. So now we are just counting how many times we are hovering. So we need to actually
do it on a click.
Yeah. So set number on trigger. Yeah, okay. Now I can click and I can count. Okay, this is still a bit messy. I have to check this in when I can concentrate better. But yeah, so this way you can count your clicks. Yeah. Yeah, please, Ronnie, tell us the weather. How's the weather in Hamburg? Today we only have visitors from Hamburg.
People just want to join and ask questions, so he doesn't read the weather forecast.
Ronnie, be the first.
Yeah, come on, man. Put it down.
You're an early adapter, Ronnie. You're the earliest adapter. Please come in. By the way, like this is like Wir machen Bund, Daria, KB, and Ronnie. They're all from Hamburg. Like we need to grow our target audience, not only to Hamburg.
Hey, that's Ronnie. Ronnie's joined the Cables Cast, Tom.
Good morning.
Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie. So how is it?
How are you?
Very good. I'd like to turn on the camera to turn you really off.
If he's got like a green screen background with the weather, I'm going to lose it.
Hey, room.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up with the weather forecast. Yeah, for those who don't know me, I have no cables question to ask. I'm very sorry. At least
Why not?
today. Yeah, please. When do you implement some kind of latency compensation into the FFT output so it can be used to sync music and visuals? Actually,
that's not so hard, Ronnie. You just have to use the delayed value.
All
No,
right.
I think he means negative.
Yeah.
Then you just got to break the laws of time and space.
No, you probably have to delay the audio, and then everything that isn't using the FFT is going to be fucked up.
Probably.
But Ronnie, we do this with MIDI, right? There we have a negative offset. But yeah.
MIDI, how are you? Yeah, weather in Hamburg is very nice. I'm looking outside at a halfway hazy, halfway blue sky. A little bit of sun is shining, and that's it.
Nice.
Ronnie bringing the sunshine to the Cables Cast.
Ronnie, it's so good to hear your voice.
Yeah, you got a nice mic there, man.
I heard I'm very good at reading Wikipedia articles.
So this is your new YouTube channel where you read Wikipedia articles.
I actually considered that as a podcast for falling asleep. But yeah, you're laughing. Wait until you hear me reading stuff that gets wound up in your anal for no particular reason. There's actually a Wikipedia article for that, which isn't suitable for falling asleep.
Okay.
I suppose. What the heck am I talking here? Are you doing good?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. We're okay. So Ronnie, when was the last time you made a cables patch? Just putting that one out there. Just curious.
2 years ago. I've been watching your streams, and every now and then I'm like, I could do something, and I want to make a demo, and then I feel not capable of doing it. And right now I have Daya to prove it's easy.
Oh yeah, she's just making everybody else that says they're going to make a demo look bad, basically.
Yeah, I also like very much how she was like, I started this like a year ago, and then I didn't have a clue, and so yeah, I feel inclined to open it very soon again when I find the time.
Yeah, I think it's just time. That's the problem. One quick thing I would like to ask right now, Ronnie, while I've got you personally in the Cables Cast room. So I said it on the last stream. I'll just keep this one quick. So with the VJ software that I keep on working on every week or two or three. So I've been doing everything with MIDI from this Ableton Live set, but I also want to build a version of it which just works with audio analysis, basically. Yeah. So like a DJ mix, for example, like people that would be stood in a club and they're following a DJ. So I was wondering if you'd either have something already lying around, or if there's just something that you've got that I could maybe use as like a long mix to analyze and then build visuals that like in a live stream.
Of course. I guess the question is, do you want to be banned because it's licensed music?
I don't know. Can we get like a ban hammer for that kind of thing on the Twitch?
No, I mean, seriously. Of course, I have mixes, and I guess I also have one that is using, or even a few ones which are using net audio content. I sent you something.
Cool.
I think like there's a mix coming up, which has no rights at Evoke, right?
Yeah, I still wait for music. I guess it's still in the making. Until August 11th, right? When is the deadline?
Yeah, it's on Tuesday before.
Tuesday. Yeah, sure. Be interesting. I hope. No, I think that will be fun. And I'm a little bit afraid.
Yeah.
No, seriously, because it's hard to play music I've never heard before, unless I have chosen to play it for kind of loving it, and I have no idea what people are going to send in and how that's going to feel when I'm going to play it. I already see myself making like 10 takes or so.
Yeah,
could
I guess so.
That'd be interesting.
But yeah, we probably could use this then, which is like not GEMA protected or anything.
Yeah.
For your thing, but I'm not sure. We have to ask our lawyer, but yeah.
I can send you something right in a few minutes. I just need to find that, which is GEMA and everything free. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm really glad you're actually saying this, Ronnie, because I didn't even think about it with the copyright stuff. You know, shows you how often I do streams to mixers on streams.
You are risking to be banned, right?
Right. Well, I'm glad I got a heads up with that one, because I mean, it's not like I want to get banned or anything, you know.
No. At least, well, I had a few mixes on my Twitch channel as well, and then the entire situation came up like last month, and the streamers were like, "Well, no, they can't do that," and then the first copyright bans and strikes came in.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I think the RIA or whatever is it, they went haywire, and they want money from Amazon, who owns Twitch, and Amazon is like, yourself, and
right. Yeah.
And
we just got a strike because we played Rick Astley in one tutorial.
Yeah,
because it's the default video for our YouTube op, and then I got a mail from YouTube, like, yeah, but whatever.
Yeah. If that happens on YouTube, that's fine. Don't let it happen on Twitch too often, I guess.
Yeah, okay, good.
But
Good to know.
I think YouTube can, if you get did you get a takedown or just a notice?
No, it was just a notice that we cannot monetize it, which we don't do anyhow. So
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. I mean,
but it was
Rick,
just so funny.
in that case, Rick says thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Go make a banger for Ronnie. Yes, please. Says me. So, does anyone else want to join? Please.
They are very shy, but we will just continue doing this until someone joins that we don't know.
Oh, look.
Oh, Dino.
Yeah, let me make some space for Dino. I wish you good evening and see you again soon, right?
Thanks, Ronnie. Bye.
Hopefully not as a filler.
Thanks to our forecast, though, Ronnie. I think that should become a regular thing.
Did I even do that? Okay, bye.
Bye, thanks. Hey, Dino.
Dino's microphone is muted.
I think Dino is still adjusting.
Yeah. Okay, Dino, if you can hear us, your microphone's still muted.
I do that? No, right?
No, I don't think so. No. Maybe it's just I've sometimes got it where I've got to unplug and plug my microphone back in 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, I have to restart Discord quite often.
Yeah. I'll just send him a message, maybe he doesn't know. Okay.
So.
Ha! There we go. Hey, Dino!
Yeah, I just have to figure out that it's better to use headphones while watching Twitch and being in the Discord.
Hey, Dino.
Yeah, an idea to get you guys to finish a match. Just use the gate object and then it's triggered, and then you can just.
So you really have questions, right? That's nice.
Brilliant.
Then you can just get the objects through.
Okay, you can send me a patch in Discord, maybe? Or how do you want to do it? So how's the weather in Cologne?
Sorry, I'm getting giggly off this weather thing.
We cannot hear you anymore.
So now I should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's having too many setups. So weather in Cologne is okay. It was a nice incident. Yeah, I like what you did there. I'm excited for the new stuff in cables.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's the release is huge, and yeah, but we, as you can see, we are just figuring out the. How do you say this, Mark? Odds and ends or something like this?
Yeah, the odds and ends of it all. Yeah.
Yeah. When are you going to release them?
Yeah, we hope on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
So if I want to start a demo for Novoke, when should I start?
Yesterday.
Can I? Or is it so much awesome stuff that I should wait for a day?
Yeah, I mean, you can be the first one who make. Maybe you can be the first one who makes a demo with shadows, but I think there's someone else working on one right now. But I'm
Depends on who gets placed first. Right? I know that I neg you for shadows for like half a year.
Yeah, longer, I guess. So
every now and then I'm like, wow, the shadows are shit. Just just make real ones.
Yeah, so Simod on cables, he wrote the new shadow system, and yeah, I really love it.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm playing like for 2 weeks with it, like intensively, and we are just polishing it so it's really compatible.
Nice.
Or like, so Dino, do you actually have a question or not?
No, not really a question.
Okay, but so your question is about shadows. So maybe Simo maybe Simo can join us.
I don't.
Discord.
I don't know if he's there actually.
Let's take a look. No, he's not. He's offline.
Oh, okay.
He was on Switch before for a little while.
If we talk about shadows, can you have multiple light sources?
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
And multiple shadows cast by those light sources, which is really cool. Yeah.
I mean, should I can just show something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're showing stuff that hasn't been released yet. I think that's awesome. And people just sit behind their browser hitting refresh, waiting for the release, right?
I would love to see some stuff.
Okay, let's do this. So so everything starts with a cube, I guess, and some orbit controls. And so there's also a new Phong material, which is even longer now. Like, look at this thing.
You need it.
Yeah, we need some new UI systems so we can just hide the advanced stuff, or like the stuff you don't enable, it shouldn't be visible. But yeah. So I will create another cube, which is our floor for now.
Mm-hmm.
So like this. Let's move this. Let's move this down. So and now yeah. So we need a light source. So for example, we could use so we have multiple light sources. I mean the usual light sources that we can use. So the naming is still not final, so it will not be shadow point light CGA. It will just be point light, but this is just how we develop it.
Okay.
So I added this point light, as you can see. Like, this is just the normal stuff as we know it. But now you can say cast shadow. So this will also show like a little helper warning or hint what you have to do now when you enable it, because we actually need something like a shadow effect I showed before for the shadows like this. Right now called shadow module modifier, which will also change. So when I add this, you see we have a shadow already.
Yeah, nice.
So when I move the sphere, you can see the shadow is moving.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are different algorithms like PCF or Poisson sampling, and I think Simo will will also join us in a stream and show all of this, or make a video tutorial or something. But yeah, so you can also set a color for the shadow, which is super handy for playing some nice tricks.
Okay.
And yeah, let's animate the cube.
Yeah, because if I'm correct, Tom, Simon's already been doing quite a few things like with complex 3D meshes, with parts cut out and stuff like that. And the shadows look really good and tight. It's just really sweet. There's a lot of control. I barely had any time to play with it. I was kind of bummed because I really love the idea of the shadows.
Yeah.
You can make them soft shadows as well, right, Tom? Where you can make it a bit more blurry and things like that. If I'm correct, I didn't look at it as much as I liked.
Yeah, totally. Oops.
Samples of performance.
I broke something, I think. Let me reload. And yeah, this is also heavily in development, I would say. Yeah, there you see there are some multiple samples, so you get like this fuzzy border.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't like it's with shadows. It's always super tricky to get this right. So we have a lot of parameters here. So for a bias, so you can just like tweak it, because with shadows you always want to be like in this magic area where it works really good, and outside of that it works really bad. And it's a bit tricky, but I think we found this middle ground where it's like we just put in those ops and then it works, right? So yeah, we are getting there, I think. So yeah, and now I can
just add another point light.
Pardon?
You can just add another point light to it and it works.
Exactly, yeah. So point light is super expensive because this is rendering a shadow cube map basically. So you see it's rendering all this stuff quite often. So but we have others. So we have a spotlight, for example, and directional light, but to work we have to enable cast shadows. So we see we have two shadows now.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, super sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have this, then you need to adjust those shadow map settings. So this is always what I said.
Yeah.
You have to fiddle around a bit, and there's even more stuff. But yeah, so so yeah,
great.
you wait a second. Oh, I lost it.
Yeah, like we said, heavily under development. It's quite a while right now.
Yeah, right.
Getting towards this workable state right now. It's getting there.
Yeah, I just wanted to overlap them. So
Yeah.
there you see they are overlapping, and you can set. You can set the strength. Yeah, you can set it here, so you can even per light say how strong the shadow is. I mean, it's not really realistic or anything, but it's just for tweaking stuff. I think it's just super handy.
That's cool. That helps a lot. I had some stuff in mind which I wanted to do with multiple light sources, or at least one light source for multiple objects.
Okay.
Because that wasn't possible beforehand. The old shadow had only like one angle, and everything in that worked like that.
Mm-hmm. So now you can also you can also use the mesh instance, in theory. Am I doing something wrong?
Do we need a material for it?
Yeah, we have the Fong.
Oh, the Fong, yeah.
Okay. Reload problem.
Okay, well, that's... Yeah,
So, yeah. Let's make
you have to
this
tweak it,
smaller.
but it's... I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, it's all there. Now, I already think it's super cool seeing this kind of stuff. It's like, look at that. That's just so badass. Sorry, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. Yeah, this is amazing stuff, and it's running really fast for what it's doing, I think. I think we're going to see like a whole new level of demos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, release it already.
Yeah, I will wait for that. Maybe I do something else for Online Evoke. Depends always on the musician, you know. But yeah, thanks for showing.
For Mimi. Yeah, yeah, I also really love this shadow stuff. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I want to play with this and make some 3D scenes in Blender and use it with dynamic lights and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for showing.
Yeah, you're welcome. And do you have any other questions, Dino? When is your next demo coming out?
2.5 weeks.
Oh, okay.
If everything
Then
is working, I'm still waiting for the decision. No, I really don't know. But I had to go work-wise to Spain next week, which is cancelled because of things. So I have 2 free weekends, which is quite nice.
okay. Yeah, you like it's great what you can get out of this, like by just tweaking some numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy good.
So, how big is our? Oh yeah, you see now it's a bit softer. So this is this PCF.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to like, where is? Ah yeah, you can. So in the lights, you set up like the size of the shadow map. So this was all 512. So if I turn it up to 1024, then it's even sharper. But yeah, on the outside, maybe we need. Yeah, I also don't know like which numbers to tweak for it. It's a learning process, I guess. I mean, it's the same in any 3D program.
Yeah, for sure. I think what you said before, Tom, like especially with this kind of op or the new Fong material, we just need some new thing with the UI where you've got like a simple set of parameters exposed, so people can become comfortable with that and then get good with it and understand it, and then add the more advanced stuff from there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I remember the first time I used Unity, there was just this like shadows thing, and I just ticked it on, and it worked. And they didn't look amazing, but I just had shadows, and that was enough for me to start with. And then a few days later, I started Googling, like, how do I make it look better? And that was like the next stage. Is this the shadow map that we're looking at there?
Yeah, this is a depth map.
Right.
I think I think this is also a debug output still.
Right.
But it's like what he's doing here is actually like what we want to do, like that this preview also works for depth textures. So
Yep.
he's just converting this by his own, but I want like the preview system to know like, this is a depth texture or this is a cube.
Right.
This is a cube map. And then it actually shows the cube map right there, like unfolded or something. Because that's super handy.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, so the point light is crazy expensive because it's rendering to a cube map, so it's rendering everything below like 6 times. So we have a full, like around the point light, we have a full rendering in every direction. So this is why you can just put it like in the center of this. Yeah, and then you have those shadows. Like actually, if you put a candle or something in the center of this, and then you get a correct shadow in all directions. So the spotlight is only like a flashlight, but yeah, this looks awesome.
Guys, looks amazing.
So and this is just really in the center and
yeah. So Tom, because I've not really followed much with the development of the shadows, would this work on mobile with lower settings, or would you say that's a pretty heavy feature for today? So I don't think the shadow point light is a good idea to try on mobile, but I think the spotlight or the direction light is no problem. So Zemo, he developed this on his, I think, 2012 MacBook Pro. And it is also tested on WebGL 1, so this works on an iPhone. I don't know about the speed, but I think it's okay. Well, if you have one shadow on a mobile phone or something, you can do this with WebGL 1. And with newer phones, it should be faster, but this works on WebGL 1 and on desktop at least. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it will later also work on mobile. Maybe later, maybe it works already. We haven't tested this yet, so yeah. But yeah, so if you like test around and don't use like 5 point lights, then it should be fine. If you just use spotlights for it, then it should be super fast. For demos, like you can use point lights or something if you have no restrictions about the power you need. Right. Then you can do it. And yeah, you can also always use point lights and not draw a shadow, and then it's still as fast as it was before. Right. But yeah, this I really love this. I like this. Why is it blue now? So free.
Yeah, great question, Dino.
Thanks for showing. And I'm looking forward to it.
Do shadows work with the splines? I don't think so. I have to test this, but I don't think so, actually.
Are the new splines an actual mesh, Tom? I've not looked.
Yeah, but they are really special meshes, I would say.
Okay.
Okay, then I will just leave you two alone.
Fun?
I will just leave you alone and
no,
just stay hidden again.
Okay, Dino. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in, man.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, the splines will, like, later at one point they will work with this, because like we have some plans with the new spline system. So there's this 2D version splines, which is more like for graphic designish stuff, and there will be some 3D splines which actually are in 3D space. But those we don't have yet, but they would work with the shadows too. Maybe the others also. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys, any more questions?
Just getting it's pretty quiet, but we've had a consistent amount of people watching along so far. We've been going for almost 3 hours now, Tom. Look at that. Time flies by.
2.5 hours, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could go on, but we need some questions.
Yeah, for sure. It's a community participation thing.
Yeah, the big release is on Thursday if everything works out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We really want to have it out because it's just a huge list of stuff, and yeah, we will try on Thursday. I think like we have some minor bugs and need some more testing, and there will be a lot of hot fixes for the shadows and for the splines and stuff. But I want to have this out on Thursday, and then we will do a big multiple streams probably and some tutorial videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. More tutorials to come.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't break any patches. It will, like most of the stuff, is in new versions of the ops. So the whole Fong and Light stuff, they are new versions of those ops because we don't want to break something. So all new functionality is in new versions basically, and yeah. And you can also, you can actually test this if you go to dev.kvsgl and log in there. Then you can test your patches if they still work, and if they don't, then you can tell us and we will fix it. But yeah, this is one thing we are doing right now, like testing all the old stuff. But I don't see any. There are no big problems with this because everything is in a new version.
Yeah.
And Mark, did you already see this? So I switched like a admin switch. So I have all old ops here, right? So you see old basic material basically.
Ah, okay. Shows the previous versions. That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just for testing reasons. So now I have my old basic material version here, and then you see here is a new button upgrade.
Right. Oh, is it going to do it?
So when I click this, then it says we need a better warning message. Maybe you can come up with something.
This is great. No, just danger zone.
danger. So and then it like this op just knows there's a basic material version 3. So this we also have to put in here. So it just creates the basic material version 3, and then it compares all the ports.
Right.
So in this case, so there needs to be some summary like everything is fine. So in this case, for every port of basic material version 2, it found the port in basic material version 3. So I just have to click really upgrade. This also needs better text.
I don't think it should be really upgrade. It should be something like, do you want to make this op true level? You know, like in Rick and Morty. Remember the true level part? Because this would be good. I'll let people make their own comments.
So now we have basic material version 3.
That's brilliant. I completely missed that one with everything going on.
This just was created yesterday because we have some patches where we have to upgrade like 50 ops to use it with a new Phong material. And this way you can easily upgrade. And so we also we have to update all our old example patches with this. But yeah, with this it will be easy, I guess.
So Tom, quick question. So if you click upgrade, does it only do it on that one op, or does it do it on all occurrences of that op inside of the patch?
No, only this one.
Because I don't know if that's technically feasible. I can imagine with some stuff where people would just go like, I know I've got 10 or 12 of these floating around in the patch. Maybe it'd be cool to have that option.
Yeah.
Upgrade this op or upgrade all.
Yeah, I mean, maybe at one point. Let's just test this.
Yeah, sure.
And then see where it goes. So for example, this is like basic material version 1. So when I upgrade this, you see pre-multiplied alpha. So this port is gone in the newer versions.
Right.
Basically. So if you are using this, then you are in some kind of danger because maybe it's not working with the new version. So maybe you don't upgrade then.
Yeah, right, okay.
So the idea is that if you have like, I don't want something like upgrade all ops and then you don't see, like, this should be a careful thing, like you should test this, like if it really did what you want or if there's a new problem because some feature is missing. Like in this example, there's a feature missing because this pre-multiplied alpha option is now in the blend mode op. So I just want this. I think it's fine if we have one upgrade button and then we go from there. But maybe we'll make a shortcut.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know yet. But yeah, let's see how this works and then we can go from there. I mean, So let's try this with Phong materials. Phong material. So this is a really old version. So you see, I mean, it's great because like most of the time you only change the color and this can be transferred.
Yeah.
Even so then you're fine and those things are not in the new version. So when you make an upgrade that big, then you have to tweak. Like it will look different. Then you have to tweak.
Yep.
Your settings. So it's not fail safe basically. Final version 4. Yeah, okay, but yeah, let's keep some secrets for after the release, I would say. Yeah. Okay. So, Mark, when is the next jam happening, by the way?
Oh, that's a real good question, Tom. I mean, when we were talking about some of the possible themes, I think the other week. Do you think it's a good idea to do it before a vote, before no vote, or like probably afterwards?
Yeah, maybe we announce it next week or something.
Yeah, I think next week's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just think about the theme and then announce it next week, and then because I really loved it, and I think many people loved it. We need to do it more regularly.
Yeah, I was also thinking like after we do the next one, that might be really nice where we come up with quite a few themes and then we ask the community to vote on which one they think might be a cool one to do. Let's also do that. Yeah. I mean, I think that's also interesting to see what can come out of that. So yeah. Yeah, no, so Cables Jam, let's announce that next week. I'll also be finally this week getting back to making some new tutorial videos, because that's been a while since the whole COVID lockdown, because we kind of moved into live stream mode, and it's just been really busy with a lot of projects and stuff like that. But just for everybody out there, this week I'll be hopefully getting the ball rolling again with managing to get at least one out a week, which would be cool, because there's been so much new stuff going on, and it's just been really difficult to keep up with all the new stuff that happens, basically. So yeah, that ball is going to get rolling again. I've just got to get back into tutorial mode. It's been a while. Been in live stream mode for a while, like now.
Yeah, cool.
So sorry, go on, son. You
can also come to the office because we have now a really nice setup here that just works. So if you feel like it, you can do it here, basically.
Yeah, I'll think about it. It's the It's the having to like get used to a new setup again thing makes me go because it took me a while to get this one all.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you have a working one, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying this setup here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So the cables will be on Thursday. Announce the Cables Jam next week. Tutorial videos are going to be up and rolling again. Yeah, a lot of new stuff for everybody to look forward to, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really exciting times. And now with each stream, we might even get a weather forecast from Ronnie. So we're moving up in the streaming world.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, for Mimi for joining us, and Kabi and Ronnie and Dino. So we had like 2 people joining. So hopefully next time we get like a person we don't know yet join us and ask us questions.
Yeah.
And we will just try to continue this open mic thing, however you want it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's really cool that people can just pop in and get out, basically. It's really, really cool. I loved it.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay, then see you next time, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.